Brad, sum up your emotions after that game. Was that a game where perhaps you were frustrated with the outcome, or sort of a little bit pleased in terms of actually that never say die attitude from the players?
Yeah, you can say that. I'm really, really frustrated and angry, to be honest, with our decisions to manage the conditions first half, which we done superbly. Speak about what we need to do second half. And for long spells, we didn't do what I asked them to do. So, we shoot ourselves in the foot, defended really well against the wind in the first half. Second half, we tried to win a throw. I get it from Mons, what we've done in the corner. And obviously we're all caught asleep. And they win possession back, pull it back, and their right back has come all the way across our back three, back five, and smashed it in at the near post. So it's really, really frustrating to try and accept that. But then on the positive side, you can turn around and like what you just mentioned and alluded to in terms of, yes, it's great that we come back and get a point out of it. But I'm going to be honest, we should be burying Dulwich Hamlets in the way I expect us to be playing. We should be putting, to bed games early on, especially with how we played in the first half against the wind. And obviously, again, the chances we had, we're not taking our chances. And obviously, we done well to get a point, like you said, and we're sending Kingy up and everyone's distracted at the far post, and Charlie's left at near post and he taps it in and he does well. So that's unselfish work, which I rewarded Kingy with a well done in the dressing room after. But yeah, you can probably tell why I'm talking a lot, that I'm frustrated and a bit angry in terms of that's the first time really that I haven't listened to what the game plan was in terms of going out at half time. So I need to take the positives in terms of getting a point and we move up to 12th, like you said. But we should be winning that game today.
Is the difference the fact that they are fighting for their lives? And it seems to be a common theme that teams that we come up against, they are in a very difficult position. They need every single point that they can get on the board. And perhaps, I don't want to say that our mentality is slightly off it, but their mentality is very different to perhaps where we are in our season.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that the squad that they've got, I'd love to have the numbers that they've got in terms of what they've got week in, week out to be able to change. It's just the day where we, second from last game at home, I expected the boys to be, putting on a show for the fans today, and I apologise that they didn't do that, especially when you give them rewards and pats on the back at half time to manage the conditions, and they were really horrible today for both teams. I get it, but we dealt with it in long periods in the first half, and then you go out and you got a complete different pattern and shape of how we normally play, and people making the wrong decisions. So that's hard for me to accept. I can't accept this at this time of the year. People need to be playing for their shirts for next season, earning contracts, earning deals off of me, whoever it is. You don't know who's here watching in terms of them. So they need to be honest and look at it. So we'll talk about this on Thursday in depth. We'll have a good sit down in the room, and we'll look at the group and obviously listen to what people have got to say. But ultimately, the decision comes down to me.
And it's a flip of the coin in the sense of we're going to be playing teams that are now kind of pushing for the playoffs themselves and fighting for those points, but for the other reason. We've seen this season that actually when we play those types of teams, we do match them, and we have had some positive results. So does that give you something to work with in terms of we may be up against slightly different systems of play, and they're going to be fighting for other reasons?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone wants to be playing, but you should be wanting to play at this level, whether you're playing team top of the league. You can't play the team top of the league every single week. It's how you conduct yourself. And from now to the end of the season, the boys want to be playing football. I don't want to be playing Route 1 and missing out the midfield and, watching it like you're watching a game of tennis. I get frustrated in that. I don't ask them to do that. So I'm looking forward to the next 3 games. The personnel, the players will understand where we're coming from. And obviously we need to turn around the second half performance for us to appreciate the fans and what they do. And they know where I'm coming from in terms of what I expect. And I think everyone's going to be wondering whether they're going to be playing on Saturday. So I don't mind that. I'll deal with that as a manager. But first and foremost, we regroup, we work hard on Thursday, and we look forward to Saturday's game.
And finally, the next home game is obviously our last game. That is going to be our presentation evening. We kind of be drumming that message into the boys in the sense that going into that game, we need to come off the back of that with a positive performance.
Yeah, and then that's what today should have been about. Going into playing teams that are above us on the next couple of games. And you put performance in and you put, Dulwich to bed. In all due respects, we should be beating them in terms of what I feel with the season, what we've had since we've come in. But like you say, the next home game is so important to finish on a high and to give the fans, with all the work that they do behind the scenes and travel everywhere, week in, week out, midweek, away from their family, that's all they asked. And that's what I expect the boys to give for the fans in the next home game.